Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Ramika's Diary. Today we're going to be seeing some grammar in CBSE Class 8, Chapter 4, the noun. So this is the part 2 of this chapter. So in this part, we'll be covering noun number, so like singular and plural, and we'll be covering gender. So first, let's see noun number. So let's recall what we have learned in previous classes. So these are some simple words. So this is singular column and this is the plural column. So apple, apples. Cat, cats. Lollipop, lollipops. So these are some easy words that we have learned in previous classes. So when you change singular to plural, there are some important rules that you have to apply. So like some you could add just s, some you have to add es, some you have to add ves. So like those kind of rules. So English nouns have two numbers. So singular, denoting one person or thing. So singular is like one person or one thing. So like we saw here, there's one apple, so it's singular. One cat, so it's singular. One lollipop, it's singular. And plural. So it denotes more than one person or thing. So it's more than one person or thing. So like we saw here, apples, so it's the plural form. There is more than one apple. There is more than one cat. There is more than one lollipop. So most nouns form their plural by adding s to the singular form. So like most of the nouns in English form their plural by adding s to the singular form. For example, apple, apples. Actor, actors. Bag, bags. Book, books. So nouns ending in s, ss, sh, ch, x, or z form their plural by adding es. So if these type of combinations are at the end of a word, then we have to form its plural form by adding es at the end. So example, address. So in here, there's two s at the end. So we're supposed to add es. So bush ends with sh. So we're supposed to add es at the end. Bench ends with ch. So we are supposed to add es at the end. So bench, benches. Box ended with x. So we should add es at the end. So address, addresses. Bush, bushes. Bench, benches. Box, boxes. So if a noun ending in ch has a hard k sound, its plural is formed by adding only s. So not always the words that ends with ch, you're supposed to add es to it. So sometimes like the words that end with ch, like whenever it makes a hard k sound, then we're supposed to add s at the end. So when you pronounce the words, you could decide if you're supposed to add es or only s. So for example, monarch. So here, monarch ended with ch, but when you pronounce it, monarch, it makes a hard k sound. So then you only add s at the end. So monarch, monarch. Stomach, stomachs. Some nouns have irregular plural forms that do not follow the standard s or es patterns. So there are some nouns that have irregular plural forms that do not follow the standard s or es patterns. So adding s or es. The most common method with specific application for nouns ending in s, ss, sh, ch, x, z, where es is added. Nouns ending in y. So if preceded by a vowel, add s. Example, boy becomes boys. If preceded by a consonant, change y to I and add es. Example, baby becomes babies. So let me explain. So for the first rule, boy is the example. Next, it's baby. So in the first rule, so let's look at the word boy. So there's y at the end. Before y, what letter it is? It's O. So is O vowel or consonant? It's vowel. So what are the vowels? It's A, E, I, O, U. So O is a vowel. So whenever a word ends with Y and there's a vowel before that letter, then we're supposed to add S at the end. So boy will become boys. So let's take a look at this word, baby. So it ended in Y. The letter before Y is B. B is not a vowel, it's a consonant. So we're supposed to cut off the Y. Instead of Y, we're supposed to put I and then add es. So baby will become babies. So next, nouns ending in F or FE. So generally, change F or FE to V and add es. So example, cough becomes calves. So generally, when a word ends in F or FE, you change F or FE to V and then add es. For example, cough, coughs. However, some words ending in IEF, IF, EF, or F simply add S. Example, belief, beliefs. Nouns ending in O. So if preceded by a consonant, add es. Example, buffalo becomes buffaloes. So there's also another example. Potato. It ended with O and there's a consonant before it, so you're supposed to write it into potatoes. So you just need to add es at the end. So exceptions exist for many words. So there's exceptions that exist for many words, especially those of foreign origin, which just add s. So for example, piano becomes pianos. So here you just added s. Exceptions in specific categories include vowel endings. So nouns ending in oo, eo, ee, or io typically just add s. Example, bamboo becomes bamboos. There's also other examples. It's like bee becomes bees. Irregular plurals, so like the vowel change. Some nouns change their internal vowels. Example, man becomes men, foot becomes feet. So like some nouns change their internal vowels, so like the vowels inside them. So here A is the vowel, it changes into E. Here O is the vowel, so like OO is the vowel, it becomes to EE. There's also another example. Tooth changes into teeth. Goose changes into geese. Next, adding en. So a few nouns from plurals by adding en. Example, ox becomes oxen, child becomes children. So in these words, you add en at the end. Letters, figures, symbols. So these form plurals by adding an apostrophe and s. Example, a becomes a's, 7 becomes sevens. So whenever there's like letters, figures, or symbols, you just need to put apostrophe s to change it into a plural form. Next, compound nouns. So rules vary depending on the structure. So if the structure is made of two nouns, typically the second noun is pluralized. So example, footman becomes footmen. So you don't change the first word, you only change the second word. If a noun and a preposition, the noun part is pluralized. So if there's a noun and a preposition, only the noun part is pluralized. So for example, hanger on. So here, hanger is the noun. On is the preposition. So you only need to change the noun part. So it becomes hangers on. If two nouns joined by a preposition, the first noun is pluralized. So for example, father-in-law. Then it becomes two fathers-in-law. Some take double plurals. So like some words take double plurals. So there's two nouns. Then both of the nouns get pluralized. For example, manservant becomes menservants. Unhyphenated compounds usually add s at the end. So like unhyphenated compounds. So like the compound words that doesn't have hyphen between them, then it just add s at the end. So for example, handful, handfuls. Rainbow is a compound word and it doesn't have any hyphen in it, so it just add s at the end. So it will be rainbows. Borrowed foreign words. So like many retain their original foreign plural forms. Example, datum becomes data, crisis become crisis. Though some also have accepted English plural forms. Example, formulae or formulas. Next, miscellaneous plurals. So a small category for titles and pronouns with unique plural forms. Example, Mr. becomes Mrs. I becomes we, this becomes these. Means can be singular or plural, but when referring to wealth, it's always plural. Collective nouns take singular words or pronouns if viewed as a whole. Example, the committee is. So, but plural if conveying separate individuals. Example, the committee were. So, like collective nouns take singular verbs or pronouns if viewed as a whole. So when it's viewed as a whole, then it takes a singular form. So you add a singular verb. But if conveying separate individuals, so if it's considered as separate individuals, then it takes a plural verb. The committee were. Hyphenated compound adjectives. So example, 3-foot rule. So it used the singular form for the unit. So it used the singular form for the unit. Some nouns have different meanings in singular versus plural. So some nouns have like different meanings in singular versus plural form. Example, air, atmosphere versus air's pride. Next, certain nouns are always singular despite referring to collections. Example, furniture, information, scenery. To pluralize their sense, use phrases like pieces of. So some nouns are always plural and require plural verbs. So some nouns are always plural and they require plural verbs. Example, cattle, police, tongs, scissors, spectacles. Next, many nouns have the same form for both singular and plural. Example, sheep, fish, deer, species. Nouns like pair, brace, dozen, score retain their singular form when preceded by a numeral. Example, 5 dozen bananas. Some nouns are plural in appearance but singular in use. Example, mathematics, physics, news, summons, innings. Various nouns, example, alms, goods, things, wages, means are generally used in the plural. Next, common errors in the use of noun. So, in correct usage, the cattle is grazing. So you should not say that. You should say the cattle are grazing. So as we saw before, cattle is always a plural noun and it only takes plural verbs. She likes fruits and vegetables. She likes fruit and vegetables. You have lost a 5 rupees note. You have lost a 5 rupee note. So it's a compound noun. The road is closed for repair. The road is closed for repairs. The chair's leg is broken. The leg of the chair is broken. Sita's hair were curly. Sita's hair was curly. He gave me much advices. He gave me much advice. Next, we're going to be seeing the gender of noun. So, in English grammar, gender refers to the classification of nouns and pronouns based on whether they refer to male, female, or inanimate objects. While some languages have complex gender rules, English gender is relatively straightforward, mainly connected to the biological sex of living beings. So there are 4 types of gender in English nouns. So masculine gender, feminine gender, common gender, and neuter gender. So first, let's see what's a masculine gender. A noun is said to be of the masculine gender if it refers to a male person or animal. So examples: man, boy, king, father, hero, lion, bull, actor, prince, nephew, etc. So sentence examples: the boy played with his toy car. So boy. The lion roared loudly in the jungle. So lion. My father is a kind person. So father. Next, feminine gender. A noun is said to be of the feminine gender if it refers to a female person or animal. So examples: woman, girl, queen, mother, heroine, lioness, cow, actress, princess, niece. So sentence examples: the girl sang a beautiful song. So girl. The lioness protected her cubs. My mother bakes delicious cake. Gender. A noun is said to be the common gender if it refers to either a male or a female. These nouns do not specify the sex of the person or animal. So common gender is a word that could be used for male or female. They don't specifically say if it's a male or a female. So examples: student. So it can be a boy or a girl. Teacher. It can be a male or a female. Doctor. It can be a male or a female. Parent can be a father or a mother. Friend can be male or female. Child can be a boy or a girl. Cousin. So other words like cousin, baby, artist, singer, servant, person, etc. So how to change Next, neuter gender. So a noun is said to be of the neuter gender if it refers to a thing that's without life, that is neither male nor female. Most inanimate objects fall into this category. So a neuter gender is a non-living thing. So it's a thing without life. So it's neither a male nor a female. So examples: table, chair, book, tree, computer, house, river, stone, building, car. So sentence examples: the book is on the table. The tree has many green leaves. The car is parked outside the house. How to change gender of nouns. So there are several ways to change nouns from masculine to feminine gender. So by adding ESS to the masculine form, so sometimes with slight spelling changes. So actor, actress. So you add ESS to turn it into a female form. So this is a male side, female side. Host, hostess. Lion, lioness. Poet, poetess. Prince, princess. So in here, you drop the E from prince, then you add ESS. Tiger, tigress. So also here, you drop the E in here and add ESS. God, goddess. So in here you double the D. Waiter, waitress. So you drop the E and add ESS. Next, by changing a word or adding a different word before or after. So grandfather, grandmother. So here you change the father into mother. Milkman, milkwoman. Manservant, maidservant. Peacock, peahen. He-goat, she-goat. Bull calf, cow calf. Next, by using entirely different words. So you use entirely a different word. So brother, sister, king, queen, man, woman, boy, girl, husband, wife, son, daughter, father, mother, nephew, niece. Horse, mare, gander, goose, monk, nun, wizard, witch. So, worksheet 2, section A, number. So, singular and plural. So, question 1. Change the following singular nouns to their plural form. So, box, boxes. City, cities. So, the first one, if the word ends with X, you're supposed to add ES at the end. So, box, boxes. City, it ended with Y, and there's a consonant before it, so we are supposed to cut the Y and put I instead of the Y, so and then add ES to it. So next word, leaf. So this word ended with F, so the plural form should be, so if the word ends with F, you're supposed to cut the F and put V instead of the F and then add ES. So, leaves. Child, children. Tooth, teeth. So you change the internal vowel. Next, choose the correct plural form from the options given. So mouse, mice. Sheep, sheep. Goose, geese. Spoonful, spoonfuls. Fill in the blanks with the correct form, singular or plural, of the noun in brackets. So my brother bought 2 dozen eggs. The furniture in the living room is new. We saw many deer. My scissors are blunt. Section B, gender. So, question 4. Underline the noun in the following sentences and state if it is masculine, feminine, common, or neuter. So, the teacher explained the lesson. So, teacher is a common gender because it could be a male or a female. My uncle lives in Delhi. Uncle is masculine. The table is made of wood, so table is neuter. The actress won an award, so actress is feminine. A child was playing in the park, so child is common. Question 5. Change the gender of the following nouns. So we have to change the gender. So king, queen. Host, hostess. So milkman, milkwoman. So next, nephew, niece. Question number 6. Rewrite the following sentences, changing the gender of the underlined nouns and making other necessary changes. So the prince rode his horse. So we have to change it into the princess rode her mare. Second one. My brother is a good actor. So my sister is a good actress. Third, he is a kind boy. So she is a kind girl. Okay friends, I hope you guys try this at home with me, and if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Bye.